Nigerians may now have to bear directly the actual cost of the premium motor spirit as the federal government reveals plans to stop subsidizing. And speaking recently at a ministerial briefing at the presidential villa in Abuja, the Group General Manager, Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, Mele Kyari, revealed that the federal government subsidizes premium motor spirit with about 120 billion naira monthly. He says while the actual cost of importation and handling charges amount to 234 naira per litre, the government had been selling at 162 naira per litre, therefore bearing the difference. He argues that market forces must be allowed to determine pump price of petrol in the country. Although he claimed the nation was not in a subsidy regime, he said the government was trying to exit what he described as underpriced sale of PMS. And joining me to discuss this is former President, Trade Union Congress, Peter Esele. Good to have you join us, Peter Esele.
Thank you for having me.
This statement is from the GMD of NNPC is coming just barely a few days after the Minister of State for Petroleum, Peter Esele, said that the government is not looking to deregulate until it has concluded its negotiations with the labor union. So how do you read the statement coming from the NNPC GMD?
Well, first thing is we have to divide both the minister and the NNPC GMD. The NNPC GMD is a professional, is a technocrat. That is his job. So what he's doing is he's running NNPC. So he had to come out and let people know that, okay, fine, we can no longer shoulder this. While the Minister of State for Petroleum is a politician, so he also had to look at the political aspect of it. So now what they're doing is putting everybody on notice that this is coming, and we should all be prepared for it.
234 naira per litre at a time where the economic cost for Nigerians it's quite huge. When you look at the electricity tariff, cost of transportation and cost of food, what do you make of this, and what would be the benefit of deregulation, not just for the country but for Nigerians?
First is we have a very tough road to walk. It's going to be tough for the remaining part of the year. One of the things is there are no safety nets. If we have safety net, we should even be discussing this in the first place. Why am I saying this? Is first, ordinarily you will expect that demand and supply and cost of production should be what would dictate the price, because you don't expect somebody to buy at 190 and then sell for you at 165. And ordinarily, if the price is supposed to be 234 and sell for you at 165, all other parts of the world, that is what is done. Once the price of crude goes up, gasoline prices also go up. But why you always have Nigerians up in arms is that there are no safety nets. There are no aspect of their life where they can feel government. So what they are saying is that this is the only aspect they feel government. And that's a big challenge for the government to put on its thinking cap, to find a way to make it easier for Nigerians to bear. Because the GMD's assertion is that a lot of our petroleum products go to Niger and other neighboring countries, whereby we end up even paying for their use of petrol. So we lose at both ends. That is what the government is trying to block. But the government must go on and think of how to ameliorate whatever suffering and hardship that the citizenry are going to face.
Absolutely, and that's the concern for Nigeria. Some states are not even paying the minimum wage yet. The cost of living is high, but for years, some people's salary has not even increased. They've been earning the same thing over and over again, but with higher cost of living. So what areas do you think that the government should begin to ameliorate, and what should be provided to cushion the effect of the potential deregulation?
I think first thing they have to do is I would say let's take the low-hanging fruit first. Taxes need to go. You have to take that off wages of workers. That's one. Then number two, you also have to come out and make policies. You're looking at education, you're looking at healthcare, and you won't have security. These are areas whereby, and then you, in the long term, let me say short to medium term, you also have to look at the transportation. You live in Lagos, for example. Why must everybody be on the road at the same time? That's why you have Lagos traffic is very chaotic. So if you create that transport whereby everybody has, if somebody lives in Ikorodu, for example, and is coming to the island, why don't they use ferry? If ferry transportation is cheaper, is safer, everybody will go that route. So you have less cars on the road. And if you are looking at the buses, and we also have mass transit buses, not the type that you see now in the next 1 hour, you're not going to have that. They'll be efficient mass transit system, whereby people have choices to make. One of the major challenges we face right now is that Nigerians are left with very few choices to make in their life.
Absolutely. I mean, the standard of living is quite poor, while the cost of living is quite high. And we'll see how government responds to all of these needs in the coming days. Former President, Trade Union Congress, Peter Esele, thanks for talking to us as always.